In West Philadelphia, born and raised in the Marines is where he spent most of his days, chilling out, maxing and relaxing in the plains and shooting some old guy riding on a train when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in his neighborhood. He got one little shootout and he got scared and said, I swear to God, that was me with younger hair. Younger and man with better hair. Damn it, I almost did it. I was that close.
You're so close.
And I said, I swear to God, that was younger me with better hair. I was that damn close. Rick, Mike, read the synopsis. I got so close.
Okay, so today we are reviewing Gemini Man. And the plot goes something like this. So Will Smith plays Henry Brogan, an elite 51-year-old assassin who's ready to call it quits after completing his 72nd job. His plans get turned upside down when he becomes the target of a mysterious operative who can seemingly predict his every move. To his horror, Brogan soon learns that the man who's trying to kill him is a younger, faster, cloned version of himself. So, Brock, I'm going to let you start first.
I thought of that instantly when I'm like, oh, he's wearing a Phillies hat. That's cool, whatever.
And he even says he's from Philadelphia.
He says he's from Philadelphia. I'm like, I had to come up with something. I literally wrote that like 10 seconds before we were going to go on air. That's the best I could come up with.
You almost had it. You almost had it.
I was so damn close. I did not practice it whatsoever. I should have, but I like Will Smith. I'll see Will Smith in pretty much everything that he's in. I like the movie. I won't say that I didn't like it. It was a very paint by the numbers movie that I don't see why Ang Lee was directing.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. It was fine. It's one of those movies that if you have a minimal IQ, you could have guessed what was going to happen. And a lot of situations, they weren't trying that hard to do a whole lot with it. I don't got a whole lot to say, to be perfectly honest. I was hoping that I would when we got into this, but I really don't. You're not going to get a whole lot of existential great thoughts coming out of this like you did with Joker. Will Smith is good. It's very hard for me to find. Well, I even liked Will Smith, The Suicide Squad, and a lot of people hate that movie more than they can breathe air.
He's good in that. He's like genuinely good.
He's generally good, and I have to pull my notes back up on my phone. Yeah, start out with Mock Fresh Prince rap, butcher it at the last second. The only comment I have to think of that before we get into anything major is, where is that girl's name? Sorry, couldn't think of her name off the top of my head. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I never realized until this movie started, I never realized how much she looks identical to a girl, Mallory, that I went to school with. To a scary extent, especially in this movie. It was freaking me out. I'm like, how have I never seen this before? But yeah, I guess we could go into. Do you have anything really big that you want to say before we go into positives and negatives? I don't.
I have just two things. One, I think Will Smith is. I think Will Smith does a great job playing not just one character but two. He's playing two, like an older version, a younger version, and I think he does a good job, kind of distinguishing between the two.
Yeah. And
I also really like the technology that they did, bringing him to life. We've seen de-aging in the Marvel movies and I guess kind of Star Wars, but this takes things to a whole new level.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie in its intended format, in the 3D 120 frames per second. I just saw it in the big Dolby screen, which was still good. so I can't really comment completely on how well like the high frame rate is, but I do respect Ang Lee's ambition to to make this to make this as as normalized as something like when James Cameron did Avatar and pushed like 3D technology.
Yep.
And of course, I think this might be my favorite. Outside of Scott Pilgrim, this might be my favorite Mary Elizabeth Winstead role.
I can agree with that.
Because this is, I'm pretty sure this is the movie that like landed her the role of Huntress in Birds of Prey. Because she gets some pretty nice action scenes in this.
Yes, she does. That everybody has good. There was, man, I watched this at my local theater here in Medford, which is a town of, I think it just spiked to 4,000 people. So I, under no set of circumstances, saw this in the way it was supposed to. And I could tell at certain moments, because I didn't know, like, I didn't look super into the movie, and I didn't realize about how there was this whole big watch it a certain way. And I could tell that when I was in the theater. But Will was good. Young Will Jr. was good. B.D. Wong didn't even know he was in the movie until I was watching it. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was great. She always is. The other guys I really didn't know.
Clive Owen as
as
the villain.
Clive Owen was good. Who was the guy that played his handler? Ralph Brown. I know nothing from him previously. Yuri, didn't know him from a whole lot. Ilya Volok, didn't know him. Linda, is there stuff that I should know them from that I'm not thinking of?
Which ones?
Janet Lassiter, the girl who was trying to take Will out, Henry out at first, sent the, I almost said platoon to his house, and then Yuri, the random Russian that lets him know about Gemini.
Can we just edit this part out?
Yeah, I can't. I just gotta. Edit out. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, Ilya Volok and Linda Edmond, the guy who played Yuri, that Russian contact, and then Linda, who seemed to be like the head of the organization that Henry was a part of. I don't remember them from anything else.
I mean, it seems like they're like sort of they're character actors.
Yeah, which is fine.
As far as Linda Edmond, the most I've seen her in, or the most I've seen like on her IMDb, is like Law and Order and all the various spin-offs.
Oh, okay, all right, that would do it. She did good for everybody. Did good for the parts that they were in. Man, I don't got a whole lot of comments other than that. Other than we'll get into like what you're saying before with how we were both saying before with how it's supposed to be watched, but. I guess we can just start rolling straight into positive and negative. Positives, other than a few sparse moments, like at the end when he's at the college.
It was nice, but also a very, very cheesy moment.
It was a cheesy moment, and like I don't even mind that. Like the I'm gonna get into what I really liked. The moment where I gotta remember her name again, where Danny Zarakowski and Henry like turn into Junior's parents for like a good couple of minutes. That was funny. And I was hoping they were going to do something like that. I was going to say, other than a couple of sparse moments when I'm going to guess because CGI is a little bit harder to do out in the daylight, Junior looked awesome throughout the rest of the movie. But there's a couple of points where his head looked blocky and like kind of misshaped on how he sat.
I can see that.
Other than that, he looked awesome. Like in all the other shots, everything else, the CGI for him looked amazing. It looked really good. The action scenes, they were all looked like they were tightly choreographed.
My favorite one is the motorcycle chase.
Okay. If I remember this, I will edit it in. Have you seen anything from DMC 5? Devil May Cry 5?
I can't say I have.
Again, if I remember this, I will edit it in. There is a weapon called Cavalier that Dante gets that is literally a motorcycle that you do the combo that Junior does where he like whips the top end over and hits him in the head with the back wheel and then kicks his feet out from under him. You'll literally do that with that. And I was just like, okay. It was like, all right.
It's a cool reference.
It was a cool reference. I doubt Ang Lee had anything to do with watching it, but it's like maybe. The showdown in the town at the end there, that was really cool. I like that they actually they went out of their way in certain situations to try and explain every situation that was happening, which was fine. Like the tracker in him, I thought that maybe they when they got DNA from him, they maybe spiked his blood or something like that, but no, they actually had a tracker. That they actually had Junior be suspicious the entire time, even though you're point blank looking at an older version of you.
And they do it a couple times too.
A lot. Like, I don't know if it was him or not. Bruh. He's wearing a backwards hat and sunglasses. You know it's you. But they had him shoot him with the Bumblebee Venom.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good little touch to have it show there. They always had a little bit of doubt either way with Junior, which was good. Will showing that Henry was ridiculously good at what he did. Like he knew there was a sniper on the roof when he woke up, going through the insomnia, stuff like that. All little details were good. They were not afraid to just pop people off in the movie, which is why they obviously had a smaller cast. They didn't care to just off some people. Like the longest one that lasted outside of Will and Mary was Wong.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else was pretty much, they had their, well, Gary didn't die. I don't think Gary died. But Marino, his spotter, killed in the phone call. His Jack, I want to say it was Jack, and his mistress were killed on the boat the second they had their next scene. And then Wong made it to the fight at the end and then got blown up in the SUV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, nobody outstayed their welcome. The characters were needed where they were needed. It's a very, man, I'm trying not to make this movie sound like it's horribly bad because it's not, but it's a very
kind of by the numbers film.
It is, and you'll say your positives, and then we'll get into negatives because I have negatives to say. It's not like there's more negatives than positives. It's just that the few things I have to address about the movie, outside of just saying that I enjoyed it, are in the negatives. So, go ahead.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat too. A lot of my positives are, the people involved, the technology they used, like certain fight scenes, like the motorcycle chase. And I think one of my favorite things is just the chemistry that Mary Elizabeth Winstead had with both Junior and the older Henry. I liked I like the moments when they were just like getting to know each other.
Yeah.
You know, like the first scene when they're at that one restaurant and they were like having the drinks, and that's when they really get to like when they really start to understand like what they're doing, why they are where they are.
Yeah, and how he grills her on like all the name the buildings on there is like a real person would have told me to off. And then like it comes on and he puts her DIA ID right on the table. He goes, well, shit. Yeah, again, before I say negatives in here, it is a good movie. If you like Will Smith, it is a good movie. And like all the stuff you're in it, you're gonna enjoy seeing it. As far as like negatives go, and there's not a whole lot of them either. It's like in the trailers, they go very hard on if you found out what you really were. Dude, I was expecting something other than a clone because I figured that out from the trailers, and you were sporting real hard to make me think it was something else.
Yeah, the marketing kind of oversold like one reveal as opposed to, you know, the story.
Yeah, and it was, and again, that's like a teeny tiny negative. Other than that, and it's like with the 60 frames per second, like, or the how it was supposed to be watched, there were some scenes where, like, with the bike chase, and particularly, spoiler alert, when the third Will Smith comes into the movie, and he comes just freaking like hydrotron planing through the town and just starts anti-gravity kicking the living crap out of Junior and Henry. To me, again, I didn't know you're supposed to watch it in a certain way. I'm like, I get DNA editing, but like, what the hell is going on? And that to me, it turned like really superhero-ish really quick when they were talking about like speed enhancements and stuff like that. But anyway, again, the one more thing I have to remember to get on before we get to that. In the movie, and this is going to go back to why, like, outside of the wanting it to be filmed in a certain way, how Brett Ratner could have directed this movie. And I know that sounds mean. I'm not saying that Ang Lee did a bad job because he didn't. But, like, it felt like in the movie, they were going really hard on, like, Will Smith's existential crisis, like, I can't look in the mirror. And, like, showing the scene with him drowning and his insomnia about how it bothers him so bad. To me, in the movie, they, like, tried to go really hard with some philosophical things that just kind of, and, like, never really amounted to anything. They sounded like really cool lines, but never went anywhere.
And that's kind of one of my issues with the film. There's a lot of exposition and not enough of show don't tell, despite how great of a technological, you know, kind of breakthrough that this younger Will Smith is. It's like unless it is just a character moment of, you know, two characters talking, it's you don't really get to see a lot of his backstory. There are some flashbacks to when he was younger, particularly the one where, you know, he's like drowning in the was that a pool or a lake or?
I don't know, because like I thought it was a pool at first, but then kind of like when you zoomed out, it seemed like it was like the side of a boat, kind of like a yacht. It could have been a pool, but either way, I was just kind of like, yeah, we talked about him not liking drowning, so for 2 minutes in their one fight, he could drown him. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of payoff for all the stuff they had, and I was just, I don't know. Maybe
I can see what you mean in that regard, like why it doesn't really feel like this is an Ang Lee movie, because other than the technological stuff, it doesn't feel like a movie that he was super passionate about. Even though this, like, if you actually look into the production history, this is a movie that people have been working on for like 20 years, but I don't think even Ang Lee was like involved that deep into production.
Yeah, and again, God, we're not saying it's a bad movie. I'm not. It's just, it seems like it went for something and just went, eh. And the only other thing that, and I'm assuming this is because I don't know if I was supposed to watch it in a certain way, or because my theater was just not hacking it. There was parts where they're filming a scene and it's fully established that they're actually sitting in this location. Then they would cut to a shot in there where it's just focusing on the person talking, and it goes and you see the background and it looks like they're at a really bad green screen. Particularly the shots on the beach a lot of times were like that. And then the shot where he's talking to Yuri in that weird Roman whatever sphere room, I'm like, are they not there? And then as he leaves and walks away, I'm like, no, they were really in the room. I'm like, that looked like you were at a green screen. Like, I don't know what it was. It looked really weird.
Yeah, that's a problem you're going to run into when you film in such a high frame rate, because you sort of like you start to strip away the illusion of filmmaking, and you start to see the hand holding the puppet.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good thing. Something else I wanted to bring up was like the action scenes. I said in my review on Letterboxd that like the scenes that were the best, again, like the motorcycle scene, are the ones that are like the bigger scope ones, the ones that were shot in kind of broad daylight. It's the close
the catacomb scene
it's
where you couldn't see a damn thing.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like the close, like this like high frame rate doesn't work when you're doing close combat, because like close combat and shooting in the dark, that's like good luck. Good luck seeing anything. There's also this one like shaky cam scene. I forget exactly where it is. It's I forget where in the movie it was, but it's like probably somewhere in the second act that like completely took me out.
Who was it between?
I'm trying to remember where exactly it was. I think it was like right before the catacomb scene.
Shoot. Because I'm trying to think. Because right before the catacombs, they had the bike chase. Did he have a fight with anybody when they were there other than Junior? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, and like you said, there was shaky cam in the catacombs too, and they cut the lights, and they would cut out to where there wasn't, where they had the night vision for 2 seconds, and
yeah,
then
that's what it was. That's the night vision was when you had that shaky cam.
Yeah, and then like, cool, we're gonna have a fight with the night vision on. He gets to Will Smith, they shake each other for a little bit, and then 5 seconds later, Junior's on the ground, he's got his thing ripped off, and he's got a gun to him. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, this is supposed to be the best covert operative on the planet and a younger version of him, and he had him punked in 2 seconds. I don't know. But this to me, and I'm gonna this how do I want to word this? If they were going for something like this and they wanted to get all the existential, all that stuff and all this, I really, really, really wish this ended up being like a 12 episode Netflix special.
Yeah. I think this would have worked great as like a mini series.
It could have, because you could have had, I don't know exactly how you do it, but like show Henry on like a couple of missions, and then show the moment where he gets cloned, and they show him raising some random black kid, and then it gets halfway through the series, you get to this, but you actually have some feeling behind the I can look in a mirror, I'm only happy when I'm laying on my belly about to squeeze the trigger. That was not shown. Like, you didn't show him going to some, like, he basically talks like he goes to a happy place from Happy Gilmore when he's about ready to shoot a trigger, but like you never see anything like that. And you could have done that if you had this movie. Was this movie only an hour and a half long?
Was it?
Because my showing
117 minutes.
117 minutes. So it was under 2 hours, like an hour 45. I felt like I was in there for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it felt pretty lengthy.
Yeah, but yeah, I go see the movie if you like Will Smith, and go see it in its intended format. It'll still be good if you don't, but if there's going to be parts that are jarring, if you don't see it in its intended format, because like I said, it was mine, local movie theater. It was weird, but it'll still be good. One more thing. I just remembered there's one other thing. They don't skip a beat going from place to place. And there's a couple of moments where I'm like, I was very okay with it. But then there was a moment where I'm like, oh, we're going to get a cool little scene where Wong, or I can't remember what his name was. What was B.D. Wong's character's name? Baron, or Benedict Wong, sorry. Where Baron and them are like, I know a guy who's got one. And then they just cut and they're in the plane. I'm like, why did you just say you had one?
Yeah, it could have just been his plane.
I don't know. And then yeah, there's very little trouble. Action scene. All right, we need to head back, but no one's gonna stop us. And then they're just gonna be seconds behind, even though they have a tracker in me. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, please at least go see it. It's bombing horribly. If you want to go see it in theaters how it's supposed to, go see it fast.
This is one of those examples of an original film that people keep saying they want to see. Well, here's your chance.
Yeah, and give or take, we will sound like hypocrites. This is an original movie, but people are going to say, it's not that original. It's just Will Smith and a clone. They've done it before. But it's different. Someone's trying something different with the format and everything. Guess what? Joker's at almost $800 million right now.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Apparently, people want to see what they want to see. Like you said, don't cry and complain when the movies come out that you say you want to see come out, and then they bomb, and then you get on your high horse and say, well, if there was less superhero movies, it wouldn't happen. There's Joker, the Addams Family, in this. Guess what? 2 are doing really well right now. One of them's not Gemini Man. But anyway, if I was score-wise 6, 7 out of 10.
That's fair.
Sounds fair.
I did 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but I'd probably round it down. I rounded that up. I'd say about like 7.5. Like, this is a movie I respect more than I respect this movie a lot more than I think it's like quality cinema. But for what it's trying to accomplish, I say it's worth a viewing.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And the shootout at the end is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it's worth seeing. It's ridiculous fun, and you got to see Will Smith be Deadshot, not in a Suicide Squad movie. So,
yeah,
right.
basically what I said is if you're in the mood for a 90s throwback like sci-fi action thriller, you'll get your money's worth.
You will. And you would get to see what happened to Will Smith in The Fresh Prince if he didn't move to Bel Air. Join the Marines instead. All right. That's it for that. I was kind of figuring that one wasn't going to take long. So for the past, well, this will probably last only about 40 minutes, but we had a little thing happen. Sorry. We know who's going to be playing Catwoman, and good God, it's not Nicki Minaj. I never thought that was going to happen. But yeah. Wow, people were just like, yeah, she's a celebrity. That'd be really cool. Shut up. You people are the problem. You are all the problem. It's like
for the record, I didn't even know about the Nicki Minaj comments until today. So I have zero opinion on that, but this Zoe Kravitz to play Catwoman in The Batman. This is awesome news.
It is. And there's always been, man, I can't think that people are just going to be like, well, every interpretation of her has been some pasty white female. No. There has been ones that have been borderline Latino before, depending on how she's been animated. But this is just, I didn't see this coming. It's different. I think that's really cool. You could have given me 18 billion guesses. I never would have came up with Zoe Kravitz.
I had like a small inkling that it might have been her, only because I heard rumors that Matt Reeves was looking for someone like Kravitz to play this character. And this is going to be a little bit of a hot take, but not only do I not think that race matters for this character,
no,
I'm actually really curious to see like them actually lean into like having an African American as that character. You know, growing up sort of poor in the streets, trying actually stealing to survive. It would make sense that Reeves would want someone like a Zoe Kravitz to play this part.
Exactly. And she's got good acting chops. Pattinson, everyone, I don't want the sparkly Twilight guy. Watch Rover. Please.
Yeah, watch the Rover, see Good Time, and then go support the Lighthouse if it's playing near you.
Yes. It's what I tell people all the time. For the love of God. It's the same thing with Kirsten Stewart and why I'm so damn happy to see Charlie's Angels. See them outside of the movies that you hate and realize that maybe when they're not directed to act like hot garbage, that they can be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But this is shaping up really well. And like whatever the rumors about Jonah Hill being whatever he may end up being, this could shape up to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see like more casting announcements from this.
And like there's also rumors going around that are from super credible sources like cosmicbooknews.com.
Or We Got This Covered.
God, it's just our sources that talk to a cousin of a person who swears to God his dad works at Warner Brothers. But that they might start making a Batman-centric type of movie verse based off of this. If they do, again, metric buttload of salt taken with this. If that ever ends up being true, which it probably won't, that would be awesome, and they could pull it off, because all these movies would be dirt cheap outside of paying for your actors, because you don't need tons of CGI to do it unless you're going to have Clayface or Killer Croc.
I was just gonna say those are the only villains I can see
or
requiring that big budget. Or
Scarecrow would be the other
Scarecrow.
one. Everyone else is just like a gangster. You could do dirt cheap films and let the story be what makes these villains awesome, and not the fact that there's some outwardly being. I say this all the time. Batman will never have his own TV series. Batwoman's the closest you're going to get, but you totally could if you wanted to, because it'd be dirt cheap. And they don't take advantage of that. Like, give or take, you need to have these flamboyant whatever set pieces, and you get these actors, but you need to have good fight choreography, show some detective skills. Martha and freaking Thomas Wayne are going to get shot in an alley again. I just know it's going to happen because they can't help themselves. But you don't need a lot. You don't.
A little goes a long way with that character.
Yeah, it does. And I tell you, Matt Reeves will gain my respect if I don't see Martha and Thomas get shot. He will gain my respect so much. Like, Zack Snyder did, in my opinion, the best version of it.
Agreed.
With the freaking beads blowing backwards off the cocking of the shell. And plus, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and, now her name's escaping me.
Laura Cohen?
Laura Cohen? Cohen? Both of them were really good. If you wanted to have someone, again, with that crisis things that's showing up, if you want to have the messed up version of that, it'll never happen, but it'd be cool. But anyway, you guys sound off in the comments what you think of Gemini Man plus this. You got any other things that you want to say about it?
I'm pretty much all set. We will keep you posted if we have any further updates on this project.
That, and what was, you and me talked about a listing, Zombieland 2 or Double Tap?
Yep, that's next week.
That is next week. Well, next week, isn't it? This Friday?
Yes,
but I won't be, depending on what happens, because I'm going out of town and I won't have my laptop with me. I might be back Sunday. I'm not entirely sure. So either it's Sunday or Monday that will be recorded. Whatever works best with you.
We'll talk. We'll
talk about that. But anyways, guys, that is it for us. Mike, other than your twiddle. Oh boy, West Philadelphia born and raised. I get it one of these times. Other than your Twitter handle displayed at the bottom, where can people reach you and what you're all working on?
Well, you can always find my reviews on letterboxd.com at Coach K42, or just find me in the various Facebook groups. Just search for any movie or entertainment groups, and you'll probably find me there.
As for me, you aren't watching this live because no one's watching it right now. I can see from the ticker up there. You're going to find me on the channel that we're on. I have more RWBY stuff coming up. If you're watching these reviews, I didn't stop doing RWBY things. It just takes a while, and these are easier to do. That's why we're doing them. I wanted to have more consistent content on this channel, and there's going to be more stuff coming other than that. Do we know when... I don't know if we talked about this on camera before we talked about it off. When does the crossover happen?
It begins December 8th.
We will be covering that. Me and Mike used to do an Arrowverse after show. But on my soul, I cannot bring myself to try and keep up, plus edit like 6 episodes a week of after show to try and cover all the content that they're putting out now. I can't. God, I would love to, but I can't because I would miss days and I would feel bad and it would fall behind. And I, like some people, I don't have cable anymore. So I'm watching them the day after they come out, but we are going to handle the crossover. As good as that, we are going to do that because I don't know if they're going to be doing anything on the CW after this because like it seems like they're blowing every load they possibly can.
Yeah, this feels like a very big deal. So expect to see our coverage of that
extensively. That'll probably be 2 or 3 episodes just on that.
Oh hell yeah.
But okay, everybody, again, thank you for watching. You can reach us at the Twitter handles below, and we will see you guys next time. Catch you later.